All right, guys, welcome to 2026. I just want to follow up from the video message that I sent out back in December relating to the call to action. Many of you guys remember when I came to you guys with that video, we had just experienced 5 preventable accidents in a 2-month period, and that had exceeded the amount of frequency in terms of accidents than what we had experienced prior 2 years of operating every day and in service. So not only did you guys hear that message, but you guys also responded well to it. Most of you took the action that was asked of you to make different decisions out there on the road, and it ultimately led to us achieving perfect service and safety. So thank you guys for hearing the call to action and adapting to it. And I'm confident that as we work through 2026, we're really going to reduce that frequency back to kind of industry standard and hopefully continue on the path towards perfect service and safety. With that being said, I will be totally transparent with you. It did not come without sacrifice. Our leadership team did have to make a tough decision to move and let go of 7 different drivers that were previously operating our business that continued to demonstrate unsafe driver-based behaviors. Whether that was not being able to stay safe on the camera, unsafe behavior in the yard, or just frequency of events, we weren't seeing consistent demonstration of trying to achieve change, which led to, unfortunately, having to part ways in our working relationship. So, with that being said, on a more positive note, as we look towards 2026, I do want to kind of introduce you guys to the 5 key areas of opportunity that still exist fleet-wide in our business as far as areas of opportunity. And this is just coming from an awareness perspective so that you guys are equipped with the information and that you understand if we do find ourselves in positions where we're having to have more conversations, you know where this is coming from. The intent behind these videos is just to increase transparency. I do not want the narrative to be that I'm coming after everybody and I'm just looking to move and terminate. That's not what I want to do. My mission is to help you guys be educated so that you can continue to provide for your families, and ultimately so that we can continue to be the safest and most consistent operator in the Northwest. So I'm going to get right into it here. The first area of opportunity is following distance. This is and always has been our number 1 area of offense. The most common conception with following distance that I'm always a part of in conversations with professional drivers is when drivers cut me off, there's nothing that I can do about it. The camera's just going to do what the camera's going to do. And that's just not true. What happens is if you guys maintain an unsafe following distance and you don't adjust to it when those circumstances happen to you, only at that time will it be associated to your scorecard. If somebody cuts in front of you and you actually reduce your speed and increase following distance, the camera's going to allow that time and it's not going to associate that event to you. It's only if you stay at the same distance for a period of time that it's going to associate that to your scorecard. So keep in mind that if the camera's talking to you saying following distance, that's your warning to back off before the camera captures a video and associates it to your scorecard. Number 2 is going to be handheld device. So handheld device is going to be not necessarily texting or talking on the phone. That's not traditionally what we see. Most of what we see is people playing around trying to get their GPS to work right, or they're trying to change a song on their radio or flip through an audiobook. Anything related to taking your eyes off the road or looking down at the dashboard and poking around on the dash, you're running the risk of having a handheld device score get associated to you. Not that it's always going to flow through to you. It will be sent to management and we will review. However, if you're holding the phone for any reason, you're running the risk of having that score associated to your card permanently. So be attentive to that. Distracted driving. Distracted driving, just like I was talking about with handheld devices, can be related to anything that's taking your hands off the wheel or taking your eyes off the road. We see a lot of people messing around with water bottles, lunch boxes, eating a sandwich, things like that. Eating a sandwich isn't going to, or taking a drink of water is not going to contribute to distracted driving. What will contribute to distracted driving is if you're spending a period of time with your eyes off the road or your hands off the wheel, fumbling around with a wrapper. That's going to be classified as a distracted driving event. So keep that in mind when you're positioning yourselves prior to departure, that you not only have your GPS and your audiobooks, all that stuff's ready to go at the push of a button, but you also have whatever you're eating or drinking within reach and very accessible to you to reduce that frequency. The fourth one, and probably the most important for me, is defensive driving. Defensive driving is something where we're not just paying attention to what's happening in the moment, but more importantly, we're paying attention to what could happen. So for example, if you're following a truck in the middle lane and they have a blowout event and they have to lock on their brakes, are you thinking about, can I go left? Can I go right? Can I not do either of those things? Do I have to stop? If I have to stop, how much following distance would I need to not make contact? That's an example of a professional driver who's practicing defensive driving. What we see today is people that, especially those of you that are having following distance events, we're not practicing what could happen and what could I do differently. We're practicing what's happening right now, and since nothing bad's happening, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. That's going to lead to an accident at some point, and we have a lot of data that's going to support this. Even if it hasn't happened to you yet in all your years of driving experience, what our data suggests is it will happen eventually. It's just a matter of when. So if I can arm you with anything, think about it this way. If you were to be involved in an accident and you're coming in with me to defend yourself against FedEx or, God forbid, another attorney that's investigating a fatality that maybe you were a part of, we're not going to be talking about what happened. We're going to be talking about what could you have done different in split seconds. Could you have done something different? And that's going to determine fault and preventability. And if the answer is yes to anything in any situation, you have opportunity to do better. So be thinking about that, because this is one of the only industries that I can think of where you can be held as a criminal if you're involved in a situation where governing agencies determine that you as a professional driver could have done something different. Serious stuff. The fifth one is speeding. So speeding is going to be related to descending steep grades, operating in inner cities where the speed limit is not 65. The trucks are all governed, so we know when we're on the open highway, we're at less risk of this. But we do see drivers that are taking advantage of the momentum of the tractor as we're descending steep grades, or we're operating over the posted speed limit in inner city driving where the speed limit's not 65 miles an hour. If you're operating in a construction zone, maybe you think you're going with the flow of traffic. That might be true. However, keep in mind, all these trucks and all these cameras they're equipped with not just GPS technology, but also ECM technology. The GPS is going to determine what the speed limit is. The ECM is going to determine how fast you were going. If those do not line up, meaning that 45 is the GPS speed and the ECM speed is not 45, you're going to get hit with a speeding violation, which is going to help accumulate points, ultimately leading to corrective conversations for the future. We can avoid that simply by just making sure that we are aware of what the posted speed limit is and we're operating within a safe range of that. 5 miles an hour is traditionally safe. If we're exceeding that, we know we're running the risk of potentially being pulled over, failing an inspection, which leads to failing service for the month. Anyway, my intent for 2026 is to continue to try to equip you guys with this information, to arm you with the stuff that you need to know to practice safe behavior out there on the road, but more importantly, to help avoid some of the uncomfortable conversations that might follow, or worst case scenario, legal charges that you might have to respond or answer to in the event that you're ever affiliated with an event like this. Thank you again, guys, for a successful December. Thank you for the work you've done so far in January. I'm looking really forward to 2026. We'll be in touch soon.